Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly Friday with Dannphan. How's everyone doing this Friday? Nice? Sorry, we did have to start late, although some people request that I do these Friday streams later. So for those people, you guys are happy. For everyone else, you guys are just missing the stream or whatever is going on. I think I made a mistake. I will say that right immediately because I started drinking coffee way too late in the day. And I can feel it in my chest. So I had to stop before the stream. Uh, yeah, it's not 100% my fault. I've been staying up late nights doing some gaming streams, way too late of nights doing those gaming streams. We've been playing the first Dark Souls, actually, on the Dannphan's channel. And last night I got to bed extra late, so I woke up extra late. So I had coffee extra late, and now my chest hurts. And now I'm gonna be up extra late tonight as well. I can already tell. Yeah, should have tried to detox from that caffeine, but it's okay. There's always tomorrow. Yeah, and if you do watch those streams, you might notice that that last night's Dark Souls stream got a little bit heated. I was on the boss where you have to walk across invisible bridges to get to the boss fight. And to be fair, it's kind of my fault. I could have beaten the boss on the first try if I really wanted to, but I was trying to aim for its tail, which is harder to do because I wanted a certain sword that comes when you cut off the boss's tail. But it's fine. That's what cheat engine's for. Could have called it the extra late stream. Oh yeah, extra late. Well, I would consider the gaming streams to be extra late. We usually start at like 9 or 10 for the gaming streams, and then we stop at like 1 a.m. And then I only actually get to bed at like 2 a.m. So, you know, it's tough. But hopefully everyone's having a good week. Also, you know, before I hopped on to the Friday stream, I started playing Dark Souls 3 again. Got Dark Souls on the brain. You can't blame me. I am putting out a dark fantasy comic, and it is very much inspired by the Dark Souls games, of course. For those of you who don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't know, but for those of you who don't know, yes, I put up a preview read of that comic. It's called Reaper. It's in the description. It should be anyways, if I remembered to put it there. Remembering to put things in the description. It's always my weakness, isn't it? And I put the preview read on Manga Plus Creators, which is kind of a contesty site. They have monthly rewards, and the top 3 places do actually get prizes, but I was just sort of aiming to be in the top 10. I figured that it's a good way to maybe, perhaps, get my comic out there to new people. And for the people who are fans who just don't know whether or not they would be interested in the comic, they can also go read the free preview to see if it pulls their intrigue at all. So right now, it's at the number 7 spot. Woo! It was at number 8 yesterday. And it's kind of funny because like my first post of Reaper on Manga Plus Creators, it got a lot of views really quickly. But I fucked up the upload because it was reading it manga style, even though it's not supposed to be read that direction. So I had to re-upload it so that it's scrolling. And I don't like scroll reading either, but that was the only other option that they had. Ugh, am I right? So I did it that way. And less views, of course, because I imagine people already read it with the shitty upload before I re-uploaded. But yeah, first day I uploaded, I made it to the 14th spot. And then after the re-upload, oh god, caffeine's not working too well on the brain. Irony. After the re-upload, I got up to the 8th spot, and today I'm up at the 7th spot. So not too shabby. I would like to get more views on it. I mean, I'm happy with the views. I'm happy that I'm in the top 10 in the first place. But, you know, another part of it is making sure that new people are reading it as well. Cover design is pretty cool too. Thank you. I've got like this version up for the like thumbnail version, just because I felt like it was more visually striking to have it be like the red and gray going on there. And for like the actual like reading, I did the more vanilla version where it's like the actual colors of things, which is also good. I still, even after the re-upload, I still kind of have some regrets on how I approached the preview read. The one thing that I think was definitely a mistake is I included like, well, I have to put this there because otherwise people will just assume it's read manga style, right? I put this page here. And for those of you who don't know, this page is not technically like a part of the story. You don't have to read this page to understand what's going on in this story. Like, this is actual page 1. But what this is kind of just like an intro summary. It's not the first time I've had this in a comic, but so yeah. Let me see. So using, I guess, it's not like getting a job will kill you as a example. It's like this page. This page on the inside cover that just like explains a little bit of the story and is very simple or blank sometimes. For the people who are picking up the comic and they like read the back of the book or read the interior summary to find out whether or not they would like it, that's basically what this page is. It's a lot more fancier, of course, compared to other intro or summary pages I've done. Horizon Quest, what I did was I had the quest be the interior intro page. That's actually like the quest board, and you know, so that was like a little bit neato. But for this one, I tried to do like a very flowery, dramatic sounding, like I pulling my inspiration from Dark Souls, naturally. I tried to make it sound like a Dark Souls intro. So when I'm reading this, I'm imagining there being the void and nothing but the flicker of the flame of this soul. And of course, some very calm voiced woman is like speaking these words as it echoes. You don't know how it's echoing because you're in the void, right? There's no walls for the sound to bounce off of, but it works. That's how I was imagining this. And it did used to be half the size. I know this looks too big to be maybe a summary page. It was half this size. Part of the reason why it doubled in text is because, well, Adam is my editor. And he's a novelist. So naturally, his advice is usually just make everything longer. That's fine though. I like this version better than the original version. I will say that. I do like it. And that's because I liked it so much. I thought I should include it in the preview read, even though you don't really need to read it. And I think that was probably a mistake because I think people saw the text and got scared and ran away. Or maybe I should have like changed the order of pages, like had this be first and then had this. Maybe that would have made it more clear that this is a little bit disconnected. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was, regardless, it was probably a mistake. I think most people are going to look at this page and maybe be scared away, thinking that they're reading a novel or something. But obviously, I'm not the type of person to just lore dump on a page with no art. It's there as like a summary read, and I just thought it sounded flowery and cool, and I just wanted to share it, but it was a mistake. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have put it there. I confused everybody. I shouldn't have confused you. Forgive me, senpai. But it's okay. I understand the criticism is my point. I understand. You are right. I shouldn't have put it there. I confused you. I'm sorry. Next time, man. But yeah. So this is Reaper. You can go read it. I can spoil all the pages for you. It's a free read. You can go have fun. A lot of people giving me like initial feedback. And it's always good to like get some voices on it so I know how you're reading it. Because different people definitely read it different ways. Like, I guess, for example, there's like a flashback scene, and I had the bully have his bubbles in a different color to distinguish that it's him talking throughout. But then some people got confused and thought that it was my mistake. Like they thought that this, even though it's still black balloons, they thought it was supposed to be Ichabod still speaking here and not actually the bully. And so they were like, why are Ichabod's word balloons inconsistent? But no, it's one voice. It's one voice throughout. Yeah, it was purposefully done. It wasn't a mistake. But I understand. I understand. It's okay. Ah, man. It'll be so fun finishing this up. Yes. Good comic. 10 out of 10 comic. Don't overthink it, lol. It's fine. Probably be better to have it in the physical book. Yes. I've thought about that before. It's the same thing with It's Not Like Getting a Job Will Kill You. That summary page, I've always included those pages in the PDF versions because the way my mind works is I just assume that when you buy the PDF, you want like all of the pages from the book just in digital version. That's the way my mind works. But I have gotten feedback for that comic that I shouldn't have kept the summary page in the PDF because it was, it was breaking up the flow. It was confusing. It made you feel like you had to read it, even though you didn't really have to. So I get it. There's also, in addition to that intro lore page, I also want to do an art page before that, where I put the credits, because obviously there's no room for credits on that lore page anymore. But give you a little bit of an example. So like in manga, you got like your cover, and then when you open it up, you also sometimes have like a nice full page of art there before you actually get into the story or get into the contents and then the story. So that's kind of what I'm going with there. I've decided not to bother actually breaking up Reaper into chapters. I don't really think it has a purpose, because I feel like it reads well as just one story throughout. There are stopping points, of course, like in this preview read. Obviously, I had it stop when he arrives at the castle, because that's like an obviously good stopping point right there. I feel like I can do better for this page, by the way. I feel like I might do some crazy editing, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do for this page. The castle looks nice, but I don't like how these rocks look. They look a little bit too simplified. So we'll figure that out for the printed version. But yes, this is a good stopping point, right? And that's why I have the preview stop here, because I want you to be curious and be like, ooh, what's inside the castle? What's going to happen? Why is this comic 100 pages long and not just 26 pages long? You know what I mean? So yeah. But it is a good book for a full read through, even without like the chapter stopping points. So with that in mind, no real need to have a table of contents or an index or anything. I don't know if that's a bad idea, but for me, I thought that was the better option, is to just make it one book, one read through all the way through, no chapter breaks. But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe I should have pages breaking in between chapters. Sonic City Witch is going to have breaks in between chapters, because obviously I broke it up into 4 issues. But Reaper will not. I don't know. I always thought chapters in fiction were pointless. That's an interesting take. Varies on the narrative direction you're doing for the book. That's what I figured anyways, but yeah. I also, while I am taking a lot of inspiration from manga for Reaper, I don't want it to completely control everything that I do. I still want it to have a very distinct my style with it, you know? And I just didn't feel like the chapter separations were necessary. I could still find spots to divide it into 4 chapters. 4 chapters would probably be what it would be if it did get separated. But yeah, it just didn't feel necessary. But if I change my mind, you know, there's plenty of time. I don't really know what a campaign date for this would look like. Right now, we're pretty far from the goal of 500 signups on the mailing list. And that's what I said before, is that if we got 500 signups on the Reaper mailing list, we would launch this year. It doesn't really look like that's happening, but that's okay. There's always next year, of course. I'm not particularly worried about it. Understandable. Inspiration doesn't mean you have to ape something else. Ape. What did they mean? I guess you mean copy something else. Like a break or a new chapter could be for a different focus, such as a different character or plot being focused on. Oh yeah, Adam definitely did that for his book Treading Water, which is actually right here. we use them as platforms. For his book Treading Water, what he did was every chapter was from a different character's perspective. Or well, there were only 2 main characters, and it would change perspective based on the chapter. So yes, it makes sense. How was Seth Rogen's turtle film, Mutant Mayhem? Did you like it? If not, does it look good? At least it has to be. Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about that one. I mean, they finally did it. They finally race swapped April O'Neil. You knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen. They don't like gingers. But yeah, I like the stop motion, or what is it, claymation. I mean, yeah, same thing, but I like that kind of look to it. But I don't know. It's been a while since I've really enjoyed anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the main thing that I've been hearing about it, which is also like the most why thing about it, besides, you know, the race swap. We all knew the race swap was coming. That's not surprising. But the thing that people are talking about is that they made Splinter gay? Why? What's the point of that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Also heard that Shredder isn't even the main villain. Okay, that's actually pretty shocking. I don't think they made him gay. I think there were two flies, and I can't even judge if I didn't see it myself. I have no idea. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the film. I've only heard other people talk about it, and I was very confused hearing that. It was like, what? How does that? No, though. Hollywood being Hollywood. That is the most true thing. Yeah. But you know, it's not a very big deal to me. Like I said, I'm not exactly who the movie is for. I'm not a huge Turtles fan, even though I did grow up with them. I just, you know, there's not that same connection with me and Ninja Turtles as other people have that connection. So it's not really going to affect me the same. They tease Shredder in the post-credit scene. Okay. So, yeah. Whatever, you know. They're like waiting for a sequel then. I mean, Seth Rogen made it. Okay. Seth Rogen made it. That in of itself is a warning flag. I don't need to know anything else. Just the words Seth Rogen. Like, his name is like a curse placed on something. I mean, maybe he's coming back around. Maybe it's his redemption story as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Maybe that's what's gonna. This is the one that he's gonna write that's actually good. Stay positive, folks. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't need to tell you guys. No, I'm not a Seth Rogen fan. He's very aggressive. He's a very aggressive personality. And I would just in general stay away from anything that has his name on it. That's not me telling you what to do. Do whatever you want. That's just how I work. That's how I get through life, you know? But yeah, there's other There's other stuff happening besides the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing, though, right? Let's see. There was this. Oh, did you hear about the whole Disney thing? So I don't know if it's true. I don't think it's been confirmed true, but apparently at like I think it was Disney parks, I think. Oh, I shouldn't like try to give you information through memory. That's my first mistake because I have a terrible memory. But basically, uh, some whistleblower said that the company would give you higher pay if you had certain politics. Like they purposefully would give conservatives lower pay, and they would essentially like positively reinforce certain politics in you with money. And like in some cases even encouraged employees to bully other conservative employees into thinking the same way. It doesn't sound good, I gotta say. I don't know how true it is, but that is the rumor on the street. Apparently, some employee came forward, and that's the story that's running right now. If it is true, that is absolutely horrible. Oh, yeah, you saw this story too. Yeah. From what I understand, they actually are a Disney employee, but whether or not like what they said is true is like kind of up in the air. Oh yeah, here's the article. Was it Disney Parks? I think it was Disney Park. Well, it just says the Walt Disney Company. I would like more information so that I actually understood what I was talking about. Yeah. I guess if you're trying to get a higher social credit score, it would make sense to try to train your employees to say certain things. But yeah, not the best news in the world. As if Disney even needed any more bad news to ruin their name, you know? They're already like making horrible decisions. But yeah. There's also like the writer's strike. That's been news, I guess, because now all the companies that have writers striking on them, they're just using AI now. Like, you could not have given a better excuse for companies to just immediately allow all of you to be fired and just move forward to using AI to write stuff. Supposedly, Warner Brothers Discovery CFO revealed the company has saved over 100 million due to ongoing writers and actors strike. They're like bragging about it. God damn. It's messed up. But yeah. All right, is that all the news? That's all the news on the first page anyway. These kinds of activities do not take place at Burning Star? Question mark. No. No, I would say not. But again, I'm kind of super duper small company, I guess. Maybe I would say. I don't really have employees. It's just like people who are looking for a place to put their comic, a website to have their comic hosted. I offer to like help them publish it and put it up on a site. But really, only 2 of the comics on Burning Star are not just mine. right? To give you a general idea, like almost every comic is mine except for Now Hiring and Crazy Cop Yuzuki. Every other one is my comic. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but I gotta get rid of this. I gotta get rid of this. This submission part. This is fucking horrible. Just nothing but spam. It's, yeah, not gonna work. I should just, yeah, not gonna work. You know what? You guys can, like, email me directly if something's wrong with the site. I gotta get rid of that section. Too much. They put, like, the math problem at the bottom of it to, like, try to trick bots so that they won't, but, you know, because of AI and stuff like that, and just, like, automated responses, they're able to just get past that. So it's really not updated to be able to trick bots. Yeah, it's a vector for spam, basically. It is a spam magnet, and I'm sick of my fucking inbox filling up with that shit. It's only gotten worse this year. And specifically, like recently, the past few months have been unbearable. It's just awful. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to chitty chat about? I feel like I've already like talked about almost everything that was on my mind. Oh yeah, someone was asking Dark Souls 3 stream win. Honestly, have I not streamed Dark Souls 3 on the Dannphan's channel? Maybe I just played that on my own. I thought I might have streamed it, but maybe I'm thinking of Dark Souls 2? I don't know. I've streamed other Dark Souls games besides Dark Souls 1, though. I definitely have. But yeah, there's not too much left of Dark Souls 3 until I'm finished it. I've kind of just taken a really long break from it, and then recently I picked it up again because I've been in a Dark Souls mood, and you know, after playing Dark Souls 1 for the Dannphan stream, to not make further progress on that game, I just pick up another Dark Souls game to fill that void. You don't think so? Maybe I haven't. I don't know. I have like vague memories of streaming one Dark Souls game, at least one other Dark Souls game. But yeah. Yeah. So I'm probably just gonna finish Dark Souls 3. Or maybe I'll save the last boss for a stream. We could do the Dark Souls 3 last boss. I gotta say, out of all the, at least so far, out of all the Dark Souls games that I have played, there's only one boss, only one, that I've had the most trouble with. I mean, like the top trouble. So much so that I had to stop playing it for a while and then get back to it and then have Adam join my game and help me. There's only one boss like that. And it's not the boss that you would think it was. Many people tell me that the number one boss they have the most trouble with in all the Dark Souls games is Ornstein and Smough. Everybody tells me that. But I didn't have much trouble with Ornstein and Smough, honestly. And I don't think it's because I'm good at the game. No, I'm totally good at the game. Trust me, bro. But for some reason, it just, I don't know, I guess the play style I had, it wasn't that hard for me. But the one boss that I had so much trouble with is actually in Dark Souls 3. And it was the Twin Princes. And that was the boss fight that Adam, before he even went into the boss room, Adam told me, oh yeah, this boss is super easy. You'll get him right away. I stopped playing for like a year. I stopped playing for months because I could not beat that boss. And then like it's funny. It's a funny story, but like Adam sees me having trouble with it, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to beat him for you?" And at some point, I was just so beaten down that I was like, "Yes, fine, go beat him for me." And then Adam's like, "This is gonna be so easy," very confident. And then he had trouble with it, and he couldn't beat it either. And then he looks at me like, "There's something wrong with your character." uh, nah, at some point he was like, "You know what? Uh, we'll beat this boss together." And then like, months pass. It's always such a bitch to play online on Dark Souls. But then finally, like yesterday, I think it was, finally I picked up the game again because I'm like, well, I'm not going to play more of the Dark Souls 1 game unless I'm streaming it, so I'll just start playing some more Dark Souls 3. So I start playing the boss again, and I'm losing again. And then Adam starts saying the same thing, is that it's easy. And I was like, but you didn't beat it last time. So then he gets really mad that I mentioned that. Naturally, he's like, fuck you, I'm going to beat it right now. But then I was like, no, we said that we were gonna beat the boss together, so why don't you connect to my game and we'll beat it. And when we both connected together and we fucking demolished him. We destroyed that boss. Like, no contest whatsoever. It was like way easier as soon as somebody else was just beside me, fucking absolutely blowing them. For lack of better terminology, of course. But yeah, so beat that boss. I don't know why. I have no fucking clue why I had so much difficulty with that boss. Nobody else on the planet Earth has ever told me the Twin Princes boss in Dark Souls 3 is the hardest boss. But for some reason, that is the one that I had the most trouble with. I didn't have trouble with, to my memory, like, at least not to that extent. I've had trouble with other bosses in Dark Souls 3. I'll admit that. I had no trouble with any bosses in Dark Souls 2. And even Dark Souls 1, the bosses aren't that bad. It's more so the walkthrough is really annoying. But I usually beat the bosses in Dark Souls 1 like my first or second, third try. Usually doesn't take that long. Even with Ornstein and Smell. But fucking, I don't know. I don't know why that particular boss just fucking, yeah, I guess he jinxed us. He jinxed us both by saying it was easy. Fucking goddamn. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy now because everyone's saying that boss was easy. Everyone says, oh man, Ornstein of Smo is so difficult. There's no way you can beat it like without another person joining you or whatever. And it's funny. I find it really funny though. It's like somewhat charming that of course that's the boss that I had the most trouble with. Not the one that everyone else has the most trouble with. It's like some weird boss in Dark Souls 3 that fucking ruined me. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe the final boss in Dark Souls 3 will be like a similar experience where I'm just completely mentally blocked from defeating them. But yeah. Dark Souls 2, kind of like a breeze. And Dark Souls 1, a lot of the difficulty in Dark Souls 1 really just comes from being really annoyed at the like game design. But it's not that bad. Not even the game design. Like sometimes it's just annoying that my character moves so slow. And Dark Souls 1 is the slowest of all the Dark Souls games. So it's one of those things. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Definitely not. Yeah, so maybe we'll play some more Dark Souls tonight if you follow the game stream. And maybe I'll save the Dark Souls 3 final boss for another stream. That's fine. If you're interested in watching me play that one too. Although something is clearly wrong with my character. So I might need to respec. Anything in the works for Ellie? No, honestly, no. There was a point in time where I was like going to maybe reprint or maybe do a second volume, but it's just not in the schedule right now because I'm working on too many other things. Like, obviously, you know, I got Reaper. Got Reaper in the top 7 spot of Manga Plus creators. Sign up for the mailing list. Go read the free preview. Sign up for the mailing list. Thank you. Thank you. But then there's Sonic City Witch issue 3, which was supposed to come out this year. As far as I know, it'll still come out this year, but I'm starting to get a little bit nervous that maybe we won't hit the deadline. So keep an ear open for that, I suppose. And then I was also considering starting up this other project with an artist who was interested in working with me. Because I'm not working on enough projects. But, yeah. So there's just like too much stuff going on at the moment to go back to Ellie, especially when Ellie didn't really do that well. I mean, it's fine. It was a fine comic, but you know, it's for a different audience than who's really watching my videos. Splinter's engaged to a girl bug? The marketing confused it for a boy bug. Why is Splinter engaged to a bug? Why? Why? That's what I want. You know what? I'd rather he be gay. You know what? Missed opportunity, should have just made him gay. I don't like the bug thing. All right. Crack shipping. Because science. Okay, sure. Who has to see the romantic side of Splinter? Literally no one. You know, Splinter always came off to me as like somewhat of a monk guy, you know, wise old monk-like person who doesn't even have sexuality, right? Doesn't even like think about sex, just begone thought all the time. I don't know why some characters it makes sense to like maybe include a love interest for them. So sometimes it makes sense, right? Not Splinter. I don't think that makes sense. I'm not here for that. Not my thing. But you know, can they at least make the bug romance wholesome? Can they at least do that? I'll give it a pass if they can at least make it a wholesome, healthy relationship with his bug. Ah, yes, that would be cool if the new Sonic City Witch ended up releasing around Halloween. Well, that is the plan. That is the plan. It's supposed to be around that time. I'll also have some new original art around Halloween. Not mine, but for Alex Lopez, the artist for Sonic City Witch. He gave me some original art to sell on the site, so I'll have some of those up for some Halloween fun as well. And then maybe that'll be like leading up to the release of Sonic City Witch when that's ready. It's Seth Rogen, so the answer is no. Okay. It's whatever. Like I said, it doesn't really affect me, but I understand. I understand why that is not good. It's very whatever. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Have you ever thought about making a Winnie the Pooh comic taking place in a cyberpunk future? I think it's open to the public now. Oh yeah, like the big thing is like Winnie the Pooh, at least not the Disney version, from what I understand, but the original book version of Winnie the Pooh is apparently public domain now. So like immediately when that happened, they announced this like horror Winnie the Pooh thing. I'm so sick of people just taking some random childhood thing and then just turning it into a horror movie. It feels, to me at least, it feels so lazy. Wonder if they'll make Splinter like that Japanese man running through the tunnel yelling about sex. Lol. I have no idea what you're referring to, but you know. Winnie the Pooh is over 100 years old now. The copyrights must have expired by now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. The Disney version is still protected, though, from what I understand. Because, you know, Disney. They always have ultimate protection under copyrights. Actually, wasn't there a big thing about the Steamboat Willie going into the public domain? Not the modern Mickey, but like the Steamboat Willie short went into the public domain. Can't wait for the slasher Steamboat Willie movie, by the way. Yeah, you posted about it as soon as I was like thinking about it. Tigger is not free game. Yeah, that figures. That'd be fun to do a super gory Winnie the Pooh story. I'm not into it, gotta be honest. It's just not my thing. Yeah, it'd just be called Pooh. Yep. To be honest, I felt like the Christopher Robin movie kind of already fit that bill. That already looked like a horror movie with the way it was shot. I never watched it, but that was because the trailers were so scary. I didn't want to watch it. Yeah, Steamboat Willie went public domain. All right, coolio. Let me just upload Steamboat Willie to my YouTube channel then. Just because I can. Let's see. We still got like 9 more minutes left in the Friday stream. So I guess if there's anything else you want to throw out there for topics of discussion or questions, if you want some updates on projects, if you want to hear any updates on Reaper in general. I haven't really been working on the Reaper story now that the preview read is up. I kind of like been taking a break from working on it. But I do have other things planned. I mean, like, I'm planning like tiers, right? Because I'm thinking even if I don't launch the campaign this year, I should still be prepared for having a campaign for Reaper. And the big thing that I'm thinking for tiers is I want a nice poster. I have an artist that I think would make a really badass fucking poster for Reaper. So that is one thing that I was thinking about. And if the artist doesn't want to do it, I can, I guess, do it myself. Although I don't think I'll do as good of a job. I can do it myself. The other thing that I was thinking about doing is turning the castle, the Hohenzollern castle, into a 3D model that I sell at like the top tier, at the like collector's edition, right? So like it wouldn't be that hard. I already have a similar model here. And this is not an exact model of the Hohenzollern castle or anything, but this is kind of like a similar model of a castle built into an inclining, mountainous, rocky area, you know? This is a nice model. I like it. That's why I have it. But we 3D printed this. It was just like a free 3D model online that we got to print. And I was thinking about having commissioned the castle and maybe 3D printing that and making that model into also a nice little display thing. That was the thought anyway. I know that if I was backing this campaign, I would want that. I would be like, oh fuck, I can have a 3D model of the fucking castle. Hell yeah. That would be my thing. But yeah, also let me know. Let me know what you guys think would be good tiers for a Reaper campaign. My go-to is always posters. I like posters. I never had a lot of nice posters when I was growing up, which has made me somewhat overcompensate with wanting a lot of really nice posters now. But you know. Are you going to use the red cover for the physical copy of Reaper? I really like that one. Do you like the red cover more than the like more vanilla version? I can use, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can do 2 different covers, one of them being the red one, or one of them being the blue. If you like it, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't if you think that one's better. I thought, well, it does pop out more. I mentally, you know, my brain works a little bit different, right? I thought I would want, if I were the one buying the thing, I thought I would want the version that is more accurate to the actual colors of the things. If that makes sense. Like whenever Adam prints like his sword bookmarks, they look like swords and they're cool and stuff. And I always want the silver one because the silver is an actual color that a sword would be. That's just how my brain works. I don't know. But yeah, if you like that version better, maybe I should take a poll. Or maybe I should just have different tiers based on what cover you want. Then I'd have to do 2 different print runs though. That's the only bad thing about that, right? I'm not a huge fan of doing multiple print runs, but I don't know. The castle sounds like a sick idea. I have a closet full of posters that I love to swap out on my walls. Yeah, right. I should actually be swapping out some of these at some point because I have the Horizon Quest posters and we put them downstairs just to have them in the background of our streams, although you really can't see them. So I figured maybe I'll take out the Ellie poster and put like Minotaur one right here and maybe the Tavern one across. Add a little bit more variety to the background of my videos. Always wanted posters of old anime, so I get the feeling. Posters I don't mind. Some people aren't super excited for posters, but I don't know what else would people want, you know? If you have other ideas, go for it. A castle would be cool, maybe with Ichabod's sword that you could stick in the back. That's interesting. I was thinking because Adam already does sword bookmarks, we were thinking that we would do sword bookmarks that look like the cursed sword in the actual comic. So basically like mini replicas of the cursed sword. Sorry. Like this cool sword right here. Maybe we have a model that we were working with, but it didn't print well. So we could fiddle around with it a little bit more. And obviously we need to add some things to it, like maybe add a cracking effect if we can without it breaking, and maybe add a gem, stuff to make it look more like the actual sword from the comic. And then we could sell like bookmarks of that, or have that be part of the campaign. I feel like that's a fun little like free thing to get alongside your book, though. But whatever you prefer. Can you show the red cover? The red cover. I mean, like, I have it like in a thumbnail here. If you mean like, can I show you the full red cover? I did do a Twitter post with the full red cover, I think. Or maybe it was just like part of the red cover. I tweet a lot more than I realize. There it is. This is like the full red cover right here. Just a little variation that I did. It does look pretty sick. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for liking it. I made it look sick. It's what I do. And it does pop out more. And that was kind of the idea, is that it would pop out more. But, the red cool, but too red, in my opinion. That's fair. I mean, the whole idea is, graphic design wise, at least speaking, is that the red helps this gray in the forefront pop out more, because it has that contrast that when you see the absence of color, it ironically catches your eye more to see like the absence of color. But also it's like, oh, look at the cool castle. That's like the first thing you see before your attention is averted to like the gray thing in the forefront. When I was originally conceptualizing the cover for this comic, I was wondering if I should just have the entire thing being gray, because it was so difficult for me to imagine the comic even being in color when I first started it, because it felt like it was just made to be gray. And maybe part of the idea of like making him gray and then the background super bright red is to kind of emulate that feeling once again. I mean, I guess it is like dark fantasy, so he gets a little bit more dark. I don't know. Let's see. I like the cool toned cover more than the red, but they're both awesome. Cool tone has a great feel to it. Unique, moody. Yeah, definitely want to give that moody feel. I like both also. I do like the more cool tone version better. I don't know if that's just because I'm known for liking this array of colors more in general. But yeah. And in the cool version, it's kind of more like the opposite, whereas he is a lot more saturated than the background, so that he will pop out more. Whereas it's kind of the reverse for the red version. So depending on where your interest is, maybe it's different for which one you would enjoy more. Red cover has more contrast and makes you turn to look again and see what's what. Coolio. Yeah, it pops out and makes you think of blood and danger. Normally I would vote red on most things, but that cool tone sings. Alrighty. Hey, what's up, Ultimate616? This is the first Friday with Dannphan I caught live. Just want to say I enjoy your content a lot and keep up the great work. Thank you, man. It is funny, though. We are about to end the stream. Well, this stream is much later than we normally do the Friday with Dannphan stream. So we only go for like an hour. And we are about to end. So, yes. But if you really like late night streams, Gamefan's channel, hell yeah. We're playing some Dark Souls, which is very fitting considering that I'm also promoting my like dark fantasy comic. But we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up for now. I'm going to get some water, perhaps even, if I am so bold, some food. And then maybe we'll start streaming some more Dark Souls later tonight. So thanks for joining me once again on the Friday with Dannphan. Sorry I didn't upload too much this week. I guess I uploaded 2 videos, which is normally what I do, but the one video is more of an announcement thing than it is a video. So we'll try to get back to doing some more interesting videos and stuff. And I'll see you next stream or tonight's even later stream. Good night, everybody.